Servus.
Hello. Hello and welcome to the Allianz Arena. FC Bayern are preparing for the eighth away game, or home game, here in the Allianz Arena for this stage of the Champions League. So first of all, welcome Matthias. He'll try to answer most of the questions in German, so maybe just be a little bit slower on the questions, and then we'll continue with those. So hello, Matthias. There's a lot on the line tomorrow. There was a lot of problems recently. How do you see the team? What are you looking for tomorrow? Yeah, obviously I know that we're in a difficult phase right now, and that's why the game is so important for the entire season. I think, of course, you always have to be ready to play your games well, but especially when you're in the Champions League, you probably bring a little bit more energy. Tomorrow is obviously very important, and I think that we'll be ready for tomorrow. So, Matthias, you haven't played all the time this season. You probably didn't expect it. At times, there was a lot of rumors already for the summer. How is your planning going for the next season? Is your priority fully on Bayern in the future, or what's going on? So yeah, first of all, we've still got the season going on, so it's not the moment to think about a change. I'm very happy at Bayern Munich at this stage. Obviously, I had a difficult situation with my injury, and then it's difficult to come back in the top form. I think in a physical sense, I'm in a very good situation. I'm feeling well, so obviously it's down to the coach, and it's his job, and not my decision to moan about it. And the only thing that I can really change is to be as fit as possible for the game tomorrow, and that wasn't the case throughout the season. But now I'm fit, not injured anymore, and I'm feeling good, and want to support the team as best as possible.
Hallo Matthias, du kennst ja
So, Matthias, you probably remember Lazio from your time in Italy. What will you need tomorrow to face off against an Italian defense? Yeah, obviously Italian teams are always strong in defense. They're very active in the box and very strong in that position. And I think for us it's important to have players in the box to use the chances to score goals, and you always have to be ready and focused that you don't concede a goal. However, I think it's going to be a difficult game for us tomorrow, and at the same time a big challenge for us. How is the situation in the team right now? Obviously, it might be difficult. Are you as the players talking a lot? Is the coach talking a lot? How are you going about this current situation? Yeah, obviously, when you're at Bayern and you're 10 points behind Leverkusen, I think in football it's not always all nice. There's phases where it is difficult, but it's most important that we all stick together and that we have our own motivation and bring our own energy and bring that to the table so everyone can see. And that's why it's important for us to stick together, to work together, to talk. And I think tomorrow is going to be a really nice game for us to get back into it as a unit and to win a game together. Matthias, obviously, the coach has to go in the summer. What do you think is the reason why it didn't really match with Thomas Tuchel, that he's not able to fulfill his contract until 25? He's talked about maybe the squad not bring the same the fact that he wants, but yeah. Yeah, thankfully, it's not my job to analyze. However, of course, on the pitch, you have the coach and the players, and obviously the player has has to stand up for it. But at the same time, we also have to be there because we do everything together. And when the when the coach leaves and say that we didn't do it well, then we have to look at ourselves and also see that we didn't do it well. So we have to pull together. Obviously, yeah, we're all in a difficult situation, all together in this phase, and so we all have to come out of it together. So that's why tomorrow is such an important game for us. So I wanted to ask you, Matthias, I hope that you still understand Italian. You were at Juventus in 2019, 2020 when so you got the title, but they also beat you twice in the Supercopa. What was your impression back then from 19 and 20, and maybe also about the game tomorrow? You're gonna play tomorrow. You still remember Rosario from your youth times. What do you think? How will they play together? Is it going to be difficult to react to it? No, I think when we talk about 2019, Lazio was really strong. 5 years have passed since that time, so it might not be as important. But in my opinion, I worked with Rosario together for a year. I learned a lot in that time. A very tactical way of playing, and I think that can help as well. But usually it's difficult to play against teams from Sarri, and yeah, they usually defend very well and very attentive. And we just have to be very strong together tomorrow to decide it in our favor.
Hallo Mathis. Von Sarri hast du viel gelernt, hast du gesagt.
Well, you learned a lot from Sarri. What did you learn the most from him? And did you regret leaving the Serie A back then? Yeah, I learned a lot from him, especially when it comes down to defending. I was very used to the one-on-one. We played a lot more around just covering spaces. But yeah, the Serie A is a really cool league. I watched Napoli against Juve. Great game, great atmosphere. But I'm very happy to be here at Bayern right now, and I hope that we can win tomorrow. It's about Immobile. How can you describe him as a player, and how do you have to play against him as a player? Yeah, he's a very strong attacker, a very strong player, someone that always hits his mark, someone that always waits for those ideal balls. It's difficult to defend him. Then whenever he creates chances, then usually he does score. So it is very difficult for a defensive player. You always have to be very attentive in that situation. So hello, Matthias. For that game tomorrow, within the squad, obviously Tuchel is going to be leaving. Could it be an early departure for Tuchel, or how do you see it? Yeah, obviously tomorrow is very important for us as a team and for the club. Obviously, we're in a situation in the Bundesliga that is quite difficult. However, the Champions League is also a very important competition for us. We want to be ready for that game. And as you said already, when you make it to the quarterfinal, it's already very good. For the rest of the season, you have a little bit more energy. That's why tomorrow is such an important game for us. Right, thanks a lot, Matthias, and we'll be back soon with Thomas Tuchel. All right, welcome back. Now ahead of the away or the second leg against Lazio, and I'll ask you for your first questions. So, hello, Mr. Tuchel. Ahead of that game against Lazio, there's a lot on the line for FC Bayern, but also for you. How would you say that you could maybe ease the minds of the team that it might not be the biggest thing in the back of their heads from the start? Yeah, I think that's a good question. I'm not sure how to really answer. I think everyone is aware that it is important, and that obviously in a situation like that, a certain amount of pressure is to be expected with the squad. And obviously with the first leg results, it's not going to be super easy. I think the pressure is going to be normal, and that the pressure is needed to bring special performances. Obviously the situation is clear. We need to win with 2 goals more against an Italian team, against a Saudi team. That where obviously the gap to bridge is very big. So I'm not sure if it's gonna ease their minds too much, but obviously it comes to what we can bring to the pitch, what fans are there to support us from the first minute as well, to create a specific atmosphere as well that could lead us to what we want to, a win with at least 2 goals ahead. On Friday, there was a couple sentences where the players didn't really play the way that was practiced. So therefore the question, do you think that the players are still listening to you? Yeah, I think that's why we played a very good second half. I described our reaction with the first goal that we conceded, that we weren't happy with. We saw the will that we wanted to do something, but we were a little bit too emotional to the leading goals. So when it comes down to the emotional situation, it was like we were in a knockout game with 10 minutes to play as early as it was. So we kind of lost our heads in the will to do so much. And I think everyone saw that we can turn it around. and also the structure was there to change things up. And I think the transition was strong, especially into the second half. We had a lot of chances, but yeah, in the analysis from the first half hour, we just weren't happy about what we played. So that's what we talked about with the team. So yeah, it was just without interpreting too much, just straight analysis. Thomas, you said it is going to be a knockout game. It's about continuing in the Champions League. Do you think personally as well that it could be a knockout game for you, that if you do drop out, that maybe things that were discussed are going to be thought over again? Yeah, not from my side, maybe from other sides, but what we did discuss and decided on, that's what we communicated. But obviously, I think that there's no one else that wants to win that game more than myself. So, Mr. Tuchel, within squads, there's always situations between players from psychological side. What does the team need from you? Is it you pulling through or friendship? Yeah, I think it's just about support. That's what they got on the weekend during the halftime break as well. I tried to help them with a certain structure and change of structure as well, and something that they're aware of as well. And we just supported them in that they could do better and just a little bit more life in those structures. And therefore, we have a couple more repetitive attacks, and that's something where we have to be a little bit stronger in tackling as well, and that's where the team will continue to get support from my side, especially in a phase where it is difficult, where you do put a lot of work in, and that work isn't the problem. We still have ups and downs within games, so obviously every minute is going to be vital, and that we can bring every minute together as one unit and pull it to our side, and that's something that we have to feel and something we have to bring to the pitch over the full 90 minutes. So, Mr. Tuchel, you already kind of answered that the mentality is going to count. How important is patience going to be against an Italian team that knows how they can pull an advantage over the line? Yeah, I think patience will be part of it, and maybe not getting frustrated when things are going to take a little bit longer and not going to be in the plan, and when not everything might work out straight away, to not just open up fully, because the loss of structure that we had in Freiburg is the reason why we had so many counterattacks come our way. That was just too much. We wanted too much in an immediate response, and then lost the structure there. Maybe patience, not really. If it's just about having possession, then it would be the wrong patience. We pretty much don't have any time to lose. We have 90 minutes. And maybe if we do only win with one goal within 20 minutes, we might have another half hour. But yeah, there's no time to lose. We can't wait with the first attack, with that first final pass into the final area, or if we do change sides one more when there is a chance to go to the opposing penalty area, then we can't have that patience, because time is on the side of Lazio, and that's why we need a good mix of both. We need to have a cool head, but still be emotional and bring that pace, and obviously also be there from the start to make clear that we do want to score goals, that we don't want to wait until the 75th minute. Obviously that can happen, but our approach has to be a little bit different. Can you give an update to Leroy Sané, or can he play without pain, or what is the situation? Yeah, I don't think he's been without pain in a long time, but the way that's looking today, he can practice the whole day. He did that yesterday as well. He has a pain level that is tolerable for him. And obviously we were expecting him in the squad then.
Los geht's. Also, guten Tag erstmal. Sie haben
So, hello, first of all.
sicherlich Lazio Milan gesehen.
Surely you watched Lazio against
Es gab
Milan.
Schiedsrichterentscheidungen, viele rote
There was
Karten.
referee decisions, lots of red
Was hast du
cards.
da mitbekommen?
What did you see from that game, from yesterday, from the game? What idea do you have from that game as well?
Es gab,
And for the
was die
game
Kommunikation
tomorrow, there
ansieht,
was
vor dem Hinspiel gab's ja
communication
großen
ahead of
Optimismus,
the
denn
first leg
Lazio
that
ist
there was a lot of
eigentlich nicht so eine
optimism
starke
because
Mannschaft in
Lazio
Europa.
hasn't exactly been the strongest team in Europe.
Jetzt
However,
zum
now
Rückspiel hin
for the second
war
leg,
überrascht nach dem Hinspiel.
were you
Stärke der
surprised
Mannschaft
after that
von
first leg
Lazio.
about the strength of the team?
Oder werden Sie morgen etwas ausprobieren?
Or will
was
you
anderes versuchen
try
gegen diese Mannschaft von
something
Lazio?
different tomorrow against that team from Lazio? So no, we weren't surprised about the strength, about the strength or their approach. We will obviously adapt to maybe play a little bit more aggressive, be a little bit more in the opposing box, have more players there, have more conviction in those situations as well. We will play in 90 minutes the same way that we played in the first 10 or 15 minutes in Rome. So, yeah, we had a lot of chances there. Then it kind of slowed down, which can, of course, happen in an away game at an Italian squad with a top Italian manager, that the game is going to be difficult to be attractive in such a phase of the Champions League where every goal is so vital and could bring the final decision. Unfortunately, the second half in Lazio, we made a couple too many individual mistakes and then brought ourselves into a losing road. However, now we have 90 minutes to show a response. A lot has happened in the recent games for Lazio, but they're not that important for our game. Obviously, our focus will be on the first leg here in the Champions League and about us adapting our approach. But yeah, just to bring it with that full energy from the start and to be able to keep that up for the full 90 minutes in this game, to put Lazio under pressure and to pose more questions than we did in the first heads. Mr. Tuchel, can you say something else about the squad news? Is Gnabry maybe back in the squad? And then also further question, there was always step backs in the past weeks. You could feel how the titles slip through your hands. Have you maybe noticed in the past couple of days, weeks, that there might still be one final chance? You have the Champions League, it's the biggest competition, and that's something where we can show ourselves as a unit. Is that something that you show the team as well? Yeah, that's exactly what we've been doing, and that's what we'll start today as well. We had a reduced practice session yesterday with only a group of players that weren't playing, that only had a couple of minutes towards the end. So the other players that played a lot only played for about, or practiced for about 20-30 minutes. So that's why tomorrow maybe wasn't the phase or the day to bring that atmosphere yet. That's going to happen today, and I think every player is aware of that. But just to talk about titles already is not going to be enough. That's not going to bring you titles. So obviously we're going to need a good practice session today. We need every minute for minute in that game tomorrow. So everything else is just going to go against us. There's enough things that we want to improve on, things that we can improve on as well, and have to improve on tomorrow. We definitely need a emotional stadium, arena to bring those emotions to the fans and to take that energy back, but we need a top performance, and that's where we need all those things that you talked about to be emotional as well. So in Freiburg, Dyer and Kim played in central defense. Can you already tell us who's going to be in the back for tomorrow? Davies was subbed in. Would he be fit for 90 minutes? All right, and I still missed the question regarding Serge Gnabry. He's back in practice, but you can see that he's been out for 4 months. So I think there's definitely a space free on the bench. But it's important for him to still continue practicing. He's still missing the rhythm, so I'll have to talk with him how he's feeling about that. We can feel that he's been out for a while. It could be that we at least take him in the squad, but we can certainly see that it'll take a while still. So for Davies, he was in the squad. He played towards the end. So he will be in the squad and could be an alternative for tomorrow.
Gute Frage. Wahrscheinlich könnte sich durchbeißen.
Good question. He could probably play, but maybe not for 90 minutes. In the defense, I'm not going to say too much, obviously. So I was wondering, how did you see the last couple of months? How do you see the crisis? How important is it for you to win the game tomorrow against Lazio and to move to the next phase? So for me personally, it's very important. I don't like to lose. It is very difficult to accept defeats and not have that influence. But at the same time, every game is something we learn of and learn about. And obviously in the past couple of weeks, it's been difficult to look at the positive sides because, there is a couple in this job, but obviously it's important to accept the difficultness and to learn and accept all of it, to grow with it. That's what I believe in. From day to day as well. Things are not normal, obviously, but it's just football. It's my big love, and it feels like a job. I'm 100% involved, and I'll continue to be like that until the final game with Bayern. Obviously, it's a big challenge, but it's there to continue to grow. Thanks a lot. So, hello, Mr. Tuchel. So, Bayern have had problems in defense to bring that defensive stability. Obviously, Lazio have Immobile as a great striker. How can you bring the stability to not concede any goals? Obviously that would be what we would be aiming for. We had a long phase during the season from match day to match day that we didn't really have the chance to play the same defensive line just due to injuries. Obviously that was part of the problem. Obviously we were always able to compensate as a squad, even though recently the 3 goals that we conceded in Leverkusen were just a little bit too much for our approach when we just scored 2 in Bochum, but also concede. Same in Freiburg. It's just not the right thing. So all of us are going to be challenged. It's not just about defending in the pairing in central defense, but not just about attackers, but it's about the entire squad. And it's a question for the team and a question of approach and the task in football that you always have to attack together and always have to defend together. We know Immobile. I think we controlled him very well before he took us out of the game due to our own individual mistakes and took us out of the game. So that was the biggest problem, I think, for us that I saw. I wouldn't be surprised if Lazio just go for counter-attacks tomorrow and just use the pace that they have in that final line with Immobile. But we need good possession, good safety when we attack and all of that at the highest level for the full 90 minutes.
Hi, Thomas.
Mit Harry, ihr habt ihn geholt.
So, regarding Harry Kane, you got him to score goals. Is that what he does? Can you explain how he comes to the change room, how he tries to motivate the other players, and how you try to motivate him? I think it's not my job to motivate him further. He's same as every player. He needs a little bit of attention and commitment that he certainly gets from my side 100%. However, there's no doubt about the way that he approaches it. Harry is a player that has an impression on every team, on every player. He might not be the one that talks the most or is the loudest in the locker room, but the way that he does, the way that he focuses in and has that confidence is always going to be affecting the team. And that's why it's so nice to have him in the squad. He's a gift to every team, and it's a gift that I can be his coach. And we're looking forward to him bringing his performance tomorrow. I think that's what he shows time and time again. And we can rely on him 200%. All right, thanks a lot. See you soon.